Sometimes you think you know what a word means or how it is used, but you really don't. For example, the abbreviation IE does not mean for example. However, for example often does make at least a little bit of sense when IE is used correctly. Deuteronomy chapter 32 says this, "He is the rock, his works are perfect, and all his ways are just. A faithful God who does no wrong, upright and just is he." And this is the kind of description you would expect to hear about God in the Bible. But the same Bible also describes God this way, like from Isaiah chapter 45. "I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things." And that word disaster is translated evil many times in the Bible, including this very verse in some different translations. And then there's Lamentations chapter 3. "Is it not from the mouth of the Most High that both calamities and good things come?" Again, calamity, same Hebrew word that's translated evil. So is God evil? Does God do evil? Well, maybe, depending on how you understand that word. Deuteronomy 32 does not say God is not evil. It says his ways are just and he does no wrong. So what that means is that if he does something that you don't like, don't approve of, don't deem appropriate, don't think is good or just or right, it's not God's goodness or righteousness that's deficient. It's yours. So in that event, it is you who need to alter your understanding of good and right. Good and right, that's not something that we decide on and then just observe that God happens to line up to those standards. Rather, we form our definitions of good and right based on what God does and on what God says. So if he sends calamities and disasters, then that was the good and right thing to do in that circumstance. The apparent contradiction of God being both good and evil sometimes or at the same time, that contradiction only exists if you think God should be bound to your particular notion of good. I'm Pastor Clinton. God bless your efforts to learn from his truth.